I had no idea the time will come this quick. Narendra Modi was speaking in the video about currency and how times are changing. He was selling the idea of digital currency, currency which is merely numbers on a computer screen, can't feel it, nor touch it, in effect, money out of thin air.
It's going to mean that central banks remain in the game. If you look at certain economies like Sweden, where the use of cash is very fast disappearing, central banks may have very little role to play both in terms of wholesale as well as retail payment systems. So this would keep central banks in the business of creating money, although most money in modern economies is really created by commercial rather than central banks. In addition, having a central bank digital currency would put a crimp on illegal activity that is intermediated to cash, bring a lot more activities into the tax net, and it would also make monetary policy at one level somewhat easier to implement.
The United States have managed to draft a proposed legislation to introduce the digital dollar. Aren't our leaders so talented? It didn't take them long to cough up legislation on the matter, but of course, what they're telling us is everything we want to hear, to shore up the US economy and to help people spend their money better amid skyrocketing unemployment. What it's actually about is full control of the masses, the mark of the beast.
We have to open this country up.
President Trump, answering questions during a Fox News town hall, said he wants to get Americans back to work.
We can socially distance ourselves and go to work, and you'll have to work a little bit harder. You can clean your hands 5 times more.
No, Trump isn't promoting the holy Islamic ablution here, washing 5 times a day before prayers. What Mr. Trump won't say is, in order to return to work, you should be clean. And his idea of being clean is to be vaccinated. Unemployment is skyrocketing as people lose their jobs, and in order to return to the workforce, you must be vaccinated. But can we trust any potential vaccine? What if the vaccine is merged with a digital implant? They'll probably tell us it's to monitor future viruses. You see how we're giving away our autonomy to the state. Welcome to the Orwellian era.
Now, about 1997, I was asked to meet through a third party, a CIA scientist in America, who joined the CIA thinking he was serving his country, as many people do, and then realized that this agenda exists, and they didn't want his genius in the area of magnetics and what have you to help people, but to advance this agenda. And when I met him, he told me that he had, after a while, when he'd realized what was going on, he had rebelled and refused to work for the CIA. And he said that he remembers in this rebellion period leaving home one day, and then he has no recollection until he woke up on a medical-type bench in a room. And when he got his faculties back, he realized there was something stuck to his chest. And as he was telling me this story, he was opening his shirt. It was at his home where I met him. And on his chest was this, it was like a see-through shampoo sachet. And in it was this orangey golden liquid. And he said that they're called patches in the CIA. And he said enormous numbers of scientists who are working for the CIA against their will in underground projects and what have you are patched. And what's in the patch is a drug that their bodies need to survive. And these patches have to be replaced every 72 hours or they start to die. And when he rebelled again, when he was patched, they took it away and he started to die in a very horrible way until he agreed to work for them again. Now, the reason I tell you that story is not just because that's what's happening in the world we never told about, but what this guy said to me was, if people say no to one thing, he said to me, tell them say no to the microchip. He said, because people, even people that are aware of the dangers of microchipping, are seeing it at the level of electronic tagging.
So you think that I mean, because I always thought, what a great idea. Now, tell me I'm wrong. What a great idea to have all your information, your medical history and all your medical notes, everything, all your employment numbers and everything else on a little microchip inserted under your skin. You wouldn't have to worry about where your cards are.
Great idea.
Blood type, the whole lot.
Absolutely great idea. And that's how it's going to be sold. That's how it is being sold.
Is David Icke being negative? It's just a little prick in your arms, that's all. Never mind that it alters your DNA, causes an autoimmune reaction, destroys your pineal gland, causes gene mutation, and affects fertility. Can't be that bad. My friend did it to his dog. It's not all hogwash. Gaddafi knew. The CIA spent a lot of taxpayers' money on these control methods. It's what they do best in the East, create zombies.